Hey guys, happy Aloha Friday. Yes, the weekend is here. Really weird. Thanksgiving always feels weird to me because I'm like, holiday, back to work. Okay, did we stop barking? Oh my gosh. Just because I forget to give them their treats right away, see what happens. Okay, you can have that one and you can have that one. No, you don't want that. You just want to sit there and look at me with pitiful eyes. Hi, Mom, I love you. Yeah, you just want treats from me. That's all. But well, two of them want treats. The other just wants to love and hug. Okay, I got a question for all y'all. Sorry, I haven't said hi to anyone yet, but whether in chat or in comments later, those of you who've had dogs before, okay, do you see a difference between which is the most cuddly? Are boys more cuddly or are girls more cuddly? I have had 2 boys and probably about 4 girls, so I'd have to count it out to be sure. And I would say hands down, my boys are cuddle monsters. They love to cuddle. I mean, they love cuddling. My girls wanna play or like Cassie wants to play. Pia Oh, Pia's on the ground now. Okay, of course. She's kind of just likes to be around everyone, but my boy's got to cuddle. So, in chat or in comments, let me know what you think while I'm going about saying, hey, hey, hey. By the way, our dear Kim had to leave us. She was here and something happened. I hope Kim, okay, came in a few seconds, a little while later, a few minutes later to let us know that something happened. So, I'm hoping everything's okay. Okay, sending prayers. I'm hoping it was just something like you had to take care of something or a phone call or something like that. But I hope everything's okay, my dear. And also, who else we got in the bushes came in here and told everyone hit that thumbs up. Okay, you guys know how. Hello, Cassie. What? Are you back to bug me? Of course, you're back. Did you eat your chewy or you? Yep, she ate her full chewy already. Oh my gosh. So, and also she is crazy. This dog is nuts. So I had all 3 of them at Thanksgiving at my brother's yesterday, and they had full reign of the backyard. They all loved it except for Cassie. Decided she had to try to figure out how to get out of the yard. And she succeeded once, but that's a different story. So, hello in the bushes, and there is Brutally Honest. How you doing, my dear? And I hope all you guys had an awesome Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving's always it's fun because you got shopping the next day. You've got the kickoff of the holiday season. I love it. I love it. So Critters on time here. Yes. There we got our cluck cluck chicken lady. How you doing, my dear? Brutally honest. So you're saying the girls are cuddlier. Interesting. Because both of my boys have been named Wrigley, and they've both been cuddle bunnies. I mean, I really should have named this Wrigley Teddy because he's like a teddy bear. He's chunky, but not fat. It's like okay, muscle. Okay, just little. Oh my god, he's like this little teddy bear. I love him to death. Don't I? You want to say hi to everyone? This is Wrigley, guys, by the way. You guys don't usually get to see Wrigley because Cassie is a royal pain in the you know what. She's a PETA to the max. Say hi to everyone, then I'm going to put you back down. But no, see, he's a big teddy bear. He's a big teddy bear. So, anyhow, so girls, brutally honest, is saying girls are the cuddle bunnies. And who else we got in chat? You like the earlier time? You know what? I wish so badly they'd get rid of daylight savings so that I could keep it at this time because it's the same time for me. It's still 4 o'clock in Hawaii, no matter what. Um, but I like it when I can connect with you guys earlier. It's just I hate daylight savings when it's 6 hours to the East Coast. It sucks. So in the bushes is saying find it equal. They both like to, but the boys follow you to every room, including the bathroom. Yeah. Puppies, you're okay. Sorry for those of you who don't know. We're talking about dogs for a few seconds until we get everyone said hi to and go into the subjects of the day. Yeah, they follow me everywhere. It's crazy. So who else have we got in Ocean Tide? How you doing? Uh-oh, I just dropped a treat. That's not good. How you doing? And the puppers. Yours are the girls. Interesting. But your one girl isn't. Yeah, this is the utter pain in the a. Yeah, exactly. This one is a total. She literally got out of the yard yesterday. It was hilarious. We had things blocking it off, and she opened up the gate just enough. Well, we had something blocking the gate. She opened that just enough to sneak through. And all of a sudden, we saw her running to the side of the house through the window. So I go out and all the way around, and I hear her barking. I'm looking everywhere for her. I find her at the front door. She found her way to the front door, and she's staring at the front door, barking, ruff, just looking at it. Ruff. And I'm like, Cassie. And she came, ruff, just looking at that, doesn't know I'm literally 5 feet behind her. And she was clueless. She was so clueless. So okay, sorry, sorry. And so let's get going on our updates for today. Last week we had a lot of updates, a lot of different cases with updates. This week, not as many updates. However, a couple of them are really in depth. Hannah, when we get to Hannah, there's a lot going on in that case, guys. It's I'm really worried, and we're hearing it now. Jennifer Coffindaffer herself came out saying that she thinks she was abducted by a stranger. That's why we need more than ever people looking for her, because there's a lot going on with that one. And to bring her home right now, and that needs to be done. I'm trying to figure out how to also, because I know the family needs financial help at this point, in all honesty. Okay, between losing dad and all the searches and stuff like that. There's a lot going on for them. Brutally is, yeah, your girl does the same thing. And Chicken Lady is saying, I have a cat who will not let you use it. See, our pups never, pups, cats, fur babies will not. I think my birds wouldn't let me either if I let them out, but I can't do that. I got to be right by my bird's side whenever. Cassie, stop being a pain. He'll be, yep, that's, we had people at our house the other day, and Cassie literally was locked downstairs, and she scratched all the paint off of the lower corner of the door. It was crazy. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. And I hope you had a good Thanksgiving. And also, as we're, yeah, I'm just trying to talk a little bit to give people a chance to get in. For those of you who are ever watching this after, okay, the live replay crew, I always try to put timestamps in for each of the stories. So if you want to just skip ahead past all the highs there, hey there's, you can go straight to the rest of everything else. So please keep an eye out for that. So we're going to talk about Hannah today. Other things, Brad Simpson. So Suzanne Simpson, you guys may remember that case is involving Suzanne went missing after a party, and pretty much husband is a number one suspect in this case in San Antonio, Texas. However, and Cassie, you're going on the ground if you're going to bark and growl at everyone. And hopefully Crisp is doing its job and you guys don't hear her. But he is, Brad is, most of us think allegedly guilty, okay, of her murder, but they have not been able to find her body yet. They're still looking for her. They have actually charged him in her murder. However, he is doing some very weird things with, in terms of court. He is requesting an examining trial. So we're going to go through that a little later. And I want to thank those of you who have been sending me these updates and these cases, whether it be through email, messenger. Okay, if you join me over on the Facebook group, you can connect to me through messenger over there. Discord. Okay, a lot of you are sending me information, and I really appreciate that when it comes time to putting these lives together on Friday. Next, Jane Doe. You guys might remember a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, Seal sent me a very scary case of a woman down in Tijuana who had been, I didn't know, no one knew who she was. Okay, the thought was the locals were very concerned about her. She was most likely from America, but they couldn't put it all together. We think we might know who she is. It has not been confirmed, but family think they know who she is now. You know, that's how I feel with the whole case with Brad Simpson, Suzanne's husband. Okay, this is me, speculation zero. Okay, point. When someone gets hidden so well that you cannot find them afterwards, there's a little level of thinking ahead of time to be able to pull something like that off. Okay, and yes, there's always that off case or something like that. But usually if it's something that happens last second, or okay, you're not thinking. You're just like, "Oh, I got to do whatever I can to hide stuff." You've either thought it through in the past and something just happened and you acted on that plan at that point, or you've planned it out. And the fact that it's been so hard in this case, and they have what, 5-year-old and a 15-year-old who are missing mom right now, and all. So, and the last case that I wanted to talk about, let's pull that one. Yep, premeditation. There's the word right there, Ocean Tide, premeditation. I'm I just feel like whether it was like premeditation for that night or just premeditation had worked, played it out in his head so many times that when he went overboard, everything kicked off and all. So anyhow, but I wanted to start with one of the cases that have met. Oh, that's not it. Where is it? Right there. There we go. Our dear Elijah. I just came across this morning, and guys, this is to me what we can do as Facebook groups, as Discord groups, as YouTube communities, other communities to help support. We know we've lost Elijah. Okay. We know he's no longer with us. Um, he has affected so many people, okay, over the last year or so. And so what the Facebook group Remembering Elijah group did was they worked together, it looks like, with the police there. And they've come up with Operation Elijah. And I wanted to get this out to people because it's not just for the locals there. They want to go out to the young kids and the kids that are not going to be getting Christmas gifts this year. And they want to do it in honor of Elijah. So Operation Elijah will work with the police to gather toys, kind of like the Marines do, and be able to get them out. Now, the reason why I wanted to actually mention it here is yes, if you live near Two Rivers, you can go down to the police station and drop things off. Hey, B Tim, how you doing, my dear? Welcome, welcome in. Happy Aloha Friday. Okay, Black Friday, all the fun. By the way, who has bought something so far today for Black Friday? I came this close, and then what I wanted sold out. So yeah, it saved me there. But oh my gosh, the next couple days in the sales will be crazy. But back with Elijah. If you live in the area, drop off toys that can be given to younger kids, middle-aged kids, older teens, whatever. And if you don't, because they know so many of us have been affected by Elijah's story that cannot just go there. You can actually, and the address is here. I've also put this on my community tab so people can share it out that way. You can actually send a check, make sure it's noted, attention Operation Elijah, and you can mail it to the police station there. If I hear of anything, I think it'd be wonderful if they actually set up some other way of being able to, rather than a check, to actually send a Venmo or a GoFundMe or some other way of sending things digitally would be wonderful. I just found out about this today, so I don't know if that's something that they've looked at, or if maybe since this is in partnership with the police department, maybe they have some limits and everything has to be paper based. I don't know. But There is that option. So please consider doing that if you have a chance. And oh my gosh, chicken leg. You're kidding me. You're kidding. Oh my. I say that every year that I'm going to do it. And every year I go into the holidays without anything. It never fails. Luckily, doing craft fairs, I can usually find things for gifts pretty easily. And I can support local, which is even better. And also, so going in, let me switch us over to here right now so we real quickly can see how this project is working for Elijah, and then we'll move on.
Life of 3-year-old Elijah Vu, who went missing February 20th. The community looking to spread some Christmas joy this holiday season with the Operation Elijah Toy Drive. New at 5, Samantha Cavalli has more about the initiative and how you can donate.
I have never seen the community rally together so much.
Spreading holiday cheer in times of healing. Members of the Remembering Elijah Vu Facebook group want to honor his memory by hosting
huge props to that group. Really huge groups. Props, big time, because we all know Facebook groups can go off completely. Okay, where they're doing, I hate to say it, some of them do a lot of good, but some of them do more harm than they do good. Huge props to this group for deciding we're going to make a difference. What else can we do? Let's work with the police department on a way we can help support the community. And also huge props
a toy drive to help local children in need. Dawn Tim of Two Rivers recently heard about the toy drive and is planning on making a donation in the coming days. She says Elijah's case consumed her and the entire community.
I was so truly involved in the case emotionally that I just feel whatever I can do to help.
Elijah's never left our minds. So just because we're at this point in things doesn't mean that we've forgotten about him by any means, and we'll continue to remember him, and things like this definitely give us a chance to honor his memory.
In partnership with the Two Rivers Police Department, monetary donations will go directly to the police department's Shop with a Cop program. Captain Andrew Rates says Elijah's death has affected members of the department in various ways. When they were approached to help accept donations, they jumped at the opportunity.
This way, be able to help some kids that are less fortunate this year and some families that are less fortunate.
It's been a rough year for a lot.
This will be a great opportunity to do that. Out of a tragedy, will come some good.
For any people that we can support and help in the situation, I feel like our community will get together and do it all for them.
Feel free to drop off unwrapped toys or monetary donations to the police department during business hours. The last day to make a donation is December 15th.
I love that tree, how they use.
Reporting in Two Rivers, Samantha Cavalli.
Actually, since they're saying goodbye there, a couple things. I love the blue. They've got that blue connection with the police there. And then the use of the, do not cross crime tape. I love that. I really do. That was well thought out by them. And also, so those of you who are thinking of doing anything, I know a lot of us do things. I do stuff with our church. A lot of us are always trying to help support other things. So you've got to pick and choose. But if this is one of those, you know if it's talking to you in your heart, and just listen to what your heart's telling you. And so moving us on, how many of you guys put a 1 or 2 in chat if you remember when we talked last week or a week and a half ago about the woman in, here we go, this woman here. And she had been identified in Tijuana, not identified, but recognized is a better word here. No one knew who she was. She was saying her name was Alexus. And a lot of people were, yes, true crime tree. I hate the time between, me talking and you guys getting there. I never give enough time for you guys to reply. Aha, we got some ones here. So this was one of those cases. I know Seal and I talked about her a lot, and all we kept getting back to is this idea that she had been through so much. You can see it. You can feel it coming off of her. And we recognized that she said her name was Alexus, but people weren't sure. Was it truly Alexus or was it something else? And that's just what was popping up. We talked about, her tattoo. And well, a lot of families have been looking at her and nothing was really matching. Then all of a sudden, earlier this week, the family of Alexus Moreno. Okay, Alexis is from California and disappeared about a year ago. And they started seeing this, or somehow they got connection with this, and they're like, they're pretty positive this is her. This is her. I've got, let me real quickly move us over to the pictures for this real quickly. Yeah, that is the right one. Okay. Um, sorry. I've got a bunch of pictures so we can actually see it now and how everything kind of came together this week and how her story changed over time to get us to this point. So, sorry, here we go. Okay, so she officially went missing back, okay, in June of 2023. She's been gone for a while. And that's what's so sad is if this is her, there's a year and 4 months, 5 months of time here. Back June 21st, 2023, one of her family members, her sister, had said, "Hey, family and friends, has anyone heard from or seen my sister?" And we know these posts. They come up all the time where people are like, "Have you seen my sister, my mom, my brother, my whatever it is?" We see these posts all the time. Please reach out and let me know if you've heard. Last time I heard from her was through a call on Instagram in April. So April 2023, we're looking at. It's unusual for her to not call me or respond to any of my texts. Okay. I've been texting her for the past 2 months. She has seen all my texts. I've sent through Instagram and she's on Facebook. People kept saying, yes, someone was on her Facebook. They could see activity on these things. And, but no matter what, there was never any contact back. And again, family know their loved ones. This was not normal. And so they got the word out. This was one of the videos they put out with a picture of her. And you can kind of see right there on the lower part here, that tattoo. Now, in a few seconds, I'm going to be pulling up other pictures, including our Jane Doe from Tijuana. This, what you are seeing there, looks just like that tattoo. And she herself will be looking at it in a few seconds. This looks just like, I think we have her. The problem now is not only identifying her, but finding her. Okay, and that's where this led to. This was a message that was shared out there with people saying, the problem is, on one level, it was wonderful. The people, in that community wanted to get her help. They're like, does anyone recognize her? Okay, all these things. But as the family was saying here, no phone was. Now, we don't know. Maybe we do know when someone has trafficking going on and things like that, they are drugged up. And so she may not have even been able to remember a phone number, for example. Okay, very, very possible. But family are like, okay, yeah, it's looking like this. Dad's heading down there now, trying to find her, because now the thing is this, we don't know, is she still in that location? Okay, has she moved on? Has someone else grabbed her and moved on? What's happening? Okay, but as this family member said, her sister said, we don't even know if she knows that people are looking for her, that we love her and that we care about her. And so here's where I wanted to pull things up. So these are pictures up at the top, of Alexis. Again, remember, go back to when she started talking to the people she lived near. She said her name was Alexis. There were thoughts that she was from California. She was last seen in San Bernardino. This is as close to a match as I think we thought we would get. People looking at that tattoo, they were coming down here to these tattoos, and it's not the greatest picture of the tattoos, but if you remember that tattoo, of the 5-pointed crown with that name that looked like Akeem or something, it matches. So hopefully we'll hear from family soon, and they're going to have that Thanksgiving, maybe Thanksgiving, we don't know. And honestly, it's if it is her, it's good enough that they're with her. We don't need the full story or anything. It's great to know that hopefully she's been found. Maybe with the family already, maybe not. Okay, but for sure, hopefully by Christmas. So that it was a big step because we've seen these unidentified Jane Does and all that go on for years and years. So that was a wonderful bit of news. So taking us to our next is Brad Simpson. Brad's case, many of you guys, we've been talking about Brad for a while. Suzanne is his wife. Okay, this started up a couple months ago. Suzanne went missing after a party. She and her husband went to a party, and when they got home, this is San Antonio, Texas, a neighbor could hear fighting going on outside between Brad and Suzanne. Okay, looked outside and actually could see physical altercation. Okay, holding her back as she's trying to get away. And later on, you heard a yell, and then this person saw Brad driving away. And no one has seen Suzanne since. Okay, we've talked in a couple updates about weapons being found in a friend's. He actually had a friend hide weapons of his. He has been in jail for a while now, and a couple weeks ago was charged in her murder. Now, we still do not have a body. There are no remains. All we have is what everyone has been able to put together. So this article came out, and I want to thank you, BC, by the way, for this. Interesting here. And instead of showing the article, I thought we'd go through that. Okay, instead of seeing the TV thing, I thought we'd do it this way here. The legal road ahead for Brad Simpson, who is facing 3 felony charges in connection with the disappearance of Suzanne, will be lengthy, according to numerous legal experts. But a legal maneuver executed by his defense attorneys earlier this month, okay, for the first time, make prosecutors give an in-depth look. Okay, so Kathleen, how you doing, my dear? They are requesting what's called an examining trial. And we'll hear a little bit more about an examining trial in here. But it's something that you never see happen. It's something usually, because things go before the grand jury ahead of time, this is not something that ever has to happen, because the grand jury is going to be like, oh yeah, there's probable cause. Let's go ahead and send this to trial. In this case, whether or not they have that grand jury, lawyers are like, no, we want this examining trial. We want to look at this and see whether or not there really is enough evidence to send him, to trial for murder and other things. You know what? I don't know if it has different wording in different places, Bill. I'm not sure. Maybe someone else could answer that. Is that the same as a bench trial? Good question. I'm not sure. I do know one of the big concerns coming out of this is that this is going to turn into a way for the defense to find out a lot of what the prosecutors have on him right now, on Brad right now. Okay, before they are due to get all this stuff. And also, let's take this back real quickly. Let me make this so you guys can follow me where I am. And also, Simpson's defense attorney, Stephen Gilmore, requested an examining trial in the murder and prohibited weapons case he is facing. A similar request in the tampering with evidence case against Simpson was not found. So when an examining trial was scheduled for December 9th, so that's coming up in 10 days or so, in the murder case, many on social media and in groups following this closely expressed confusion about what an examining trial actually is. Chicken Lady's thinking it's the same thing too. And one of the things I'm discovering a lot of times that, oh, okay, Bill is saying it is not the same. It's more like a preliminary hearing. And that could be, I know I'm finding a lot of different things that Texas, for example, has different wording and stuff like that. Continuing with this quote, it's about whether there's probable cause that the charge that's been filed, the accusation that's been levied, can actually proceed forward to that next phase of the prosecution, which would be to await a grand jury determination and to eventually stand for that trial. Hunter, who is not tied, okay, so this is a different lawyer explaining all this. Any criminal defendant charged with a felony in the state of Texas may request an examining trial prior to indictment. So this is going to happen before the grand jury. Okay, allowing them to question witnesses, including investigators, about what information they've collected that supports the charges on which the defendant is being held. Red Rock is saying a bench trial. Let me see. Here we go. A bench trial is when there is no jury, like the Lakin. Okay, got it. Lioness, welcome. So, and that makes more sense. That does make more sense. And also, let me just open. That's Bill. I would have thought yes, but no. It sounds like even this is going to happen potentially in addition, which is what's so weird about this case and why it's something that does not normally happen. Let's see. Let me go through. Okay, a judge, after reviewing the facts presented during the examining trial, can decide whether there is sufficient probable cause to support the charge and whether the corresponding bail amount is appropriate. So they can change bail, they can dismiss, they can do all of that at this point. Historically, however, any request for an examining trial effectively guaranteed the case would be fast-tracked for indictment in Bexar County, which is where San Antonio is, no matter the facts of the case, removing the chance for an examining trial altogether. Though, a closer look at Gilmore's revealed that even if prosecutors indicted Simpson, the December 9th hearing will still be held just under a different legal mechanism called a writ of habeas corpus. And this is kind of why I decided to go through this article rather than the news story. The news story put all this in like a 1-minute thing. And this helps a little bit more because of all, and it comes down to Texas law and all. Quote, that kind of hearing also requires a judge to consider the facts and circumstances of the case. And so you can sort of have the same conversations that you would have in an examining trial through that vehicle. Basically, what they're trying to do, in my eyes, is get their hands on as much of the evidence and kind of get a better idea what the police have in their hands right now and what they don't have. Because again, remember, we don't know where Suzanne is yet. And because of that, it's trying to get oh yeah, exactly, Lioness. I wouldn't want to commit a crime in Texas. They are definitely harder. They definitely they kind of fall that. It depends. Things can go any way in any place, of course, but yeah. Both legal maneuvers have benefits and drawbacks for both the prosecution and the defense. With an examining trial, the burden is on the prosecution to demonstrate that there is sufficient probable cause to move the charges forward, Hunter said. Though, unlike an examining trial, a writ of habeas corpus allows for a defendant to immediately appeal whatever decision a judge makes to the Texas Fourth Court of Appeals. So we're starting to see the playbook being laid out right for us, to be honest. An examining trial from a prosecutor's perspective is a disaster, Hunter said. If you're letting the defense attorney have compulsory process to subpoena witnesses and put on potentially a full day's worth of testimony about the facts and circumstances surrounding the offense, then it's a treasure trove of information, and you are getting the people who are the participants, the investigators, detectives, at a moment in time where they would not have been what we call woodshedded. So basically, all of this stuff is being opened up early for the prosecution, which is, of course, not something they're ideally wanting in an ideal world. But the outcome of an examining trial, Hunter believes, is more candid responses from key investigators and witnesses with the case fresh in their memory, as opposed to having to recall facts when and if the case goes to trial years later, which, as we all know, happens all the time. I mean, we're still waiting on Ariel's case to go to trial. And Bill is saying here, in many states, someone who gets arrested can waive grand jury and request a probable cause hearing on a preliminary. Yes. Even after an indictment, this hearing is considered an appeal of the grand jury. And so it's interesting in trying to figure out how different things work in different states, definitely. The fact that this is going to potentially go forward as an examining trial is a great testament to Joe Gonzalez's administration, Hunter said. This is what fairness looks like because everyone has a right to an examining trial, even though this is something never really done. Until the grand jury says otherwise, and people shouldn't be punished or put in a worse position procedurally because they ask that the court do something that they have a constitutional and statutory right to. Let me get my mouse here. Okay. And now I don't know if this even, did I skip the one part where they were even talking? This is so rare. Okay. That it's just extremely, a lawyer had made a comment that it is rare as a hen's tooth. Okay. If you're used to that saying and stuff like that. So where is this going to take us? Okay, what's going to happen? Are they hoping that the judge basically says, yeah, there's not enough real proof to be holding him right now on this murder conviction? Okay, murder. Okay. Oh my God. Okay, is that the focus here? Or is the focus to get all the information so they can see exactly what we're playing with at this point? It's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting to see what comes out of that. So December 9th will be popping up. Let me see. So not next week. Okay, so it won't be next week's live, but it'll be the week after that. And by the way, I don't know if I'm going to be live for True Crime Update next week. I'll try to do something for you guys. I'm just not sure how. I do have another craft fair that I have to set up for that day. So I'm trying, it depends what time I get in for that. If I could go early with you guys, we may do that. So keep an eye out for that. So, okie dokie. So that's where we are with that. Bill is saying this must be the same process, just different. You know what? A lot of times that's exactly what it is. Different states, different process. Okay, wording, yet the process is still the same type thing. It's just interesting because of the fact usually we got our grand juries and all that are handling all this. And so, okay, let's move ourselves on to Hannah. Let me ask you guys, I know we've talked about Hannah a lot. Let me just get a better feeling from you guys. How many of you guys have been following Hannah's case over the last week? You might remember last week we talked, unfortunately, Hannah's father is no longer with us. And other members of the family are having to step in to help out with things. Kimberly, you're back. Kimberly, I hope everything's okay, my dear. I saw you had to, so I'm hoping you're okay. I hope everything turned out okay. Let me real quickly pull this up here just to get a better idea where everyone is with this. Kim's been following it. You've just been watching me, Bill. Okay, got it. And this is one of those cases that, for better or worse, I don't know. I don't know. It destroys you inside that it took her father leaving the earth to push her case to the forefront of the media. And it's sad, and it's a statement on us as a society, to be honest. Um, it's heartbreaking at the same point. I think over time, what we're starting to see is more and more focus on just what may have happened here. People have gone through a whole thing by at the beginning thinking, okay, could it be voluntary? Could it be a mental health thing? Could it be, okay, whatever it is? And it's progressing and turning into something that none of us, we all hold as a possibility, but it's looking more and more like those worst case scenarios may be true here. And in a way, it's good that the public has all this information now, because now we can look for her more. And oh, Bill, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so I appreciate that. I really do. And actually, it means a lot. So anyhow, let me pull this over here. As I mentioned initially, when people started talking about Hannah, there was a lot of thought. Could it be that she was voluntarily missing? Could she have had a mental health break? Lots of questions, though. I mean, and again, like I always say, you listen to the family. Families know that person. Okay, if the family is telling you this is not like them, yes, there could be a mental health component to it, which makes it not like them. Okay, but if enough things aren't like them, then you're looking at something different. And in this case, we were seeing text messages that were not like her. I mean, they absent emojis, language that just was not her. Okay, so many different things going on. And then all of a sudden, now we're starting to see Venmos. It looks like, for those of you who've only been following the case here, okay, there have been some Venmo payments. Okay, she didn't use Venmo a hell of a lot. And all of a sudden, corresponding with her disappearance, we have 2 Venmos going out. One of those may have been connected to a tarot reading. Makes sense, no problem. The other one, not sure. Okay, a lot of different openings with it. We've got a little bit more clarification on her. In fact, I accidentally pulled that down. Let me pull that back up. Family has shared another update of the timeline. And as you guys know, I am only going to share stuff that I know is true, stuff that can be verified. That's just something that I feel strongly about. And her family is sharing everything out that they can reasonably share, because of course they're not going to put her in danger. Okay, she's already in enough danger. So sharing stuff that should not be shared, things like that, is a big no-no. Let me real quickly, I'm going to share this timeline instead, and then we'll go back to the other. So let me switch this just to go over, because this got posted literally maybe an hour ago, and it's an update on the timeline. So as we mentioned the other day, she landed at 9:53, missed her connecting flight, which was supposed to leave at 11. She stayed overnight at LAX. That's proven. That they've got video footage, things like that to look at. Saturday from 12 to 3, she was seen at the Grove, specifically at Tashin Books, charging her phone. She actually asked one of the employers there, employees, I mean, could you charge my phone for me? It's getting really low. Could you charge it? So it was being charged. There was a photo taken by Hannah and sent to her aunt at 2:43 from the bookstore. We also know during that she put her name on a mailing list at the bookstore using the address here in Maui. And so there's a lot of things that were going on there. Now, of course, and you do have to address this as a possibility, who had access to her phone at that time? Okay. Um, I don't know. Evening, she was spotted back at LAX. Now, there are some discussions of her talking with ticketing agents and stuff like that. So just as a background, she is throughout this whole time, she is looking at flights. Okay, getting out on flights, things on that level. Bill is saying usually if they don't act like themselves, it's a mental health crisis, drug related, or foul play. Yeah, you're limited pretty much to those three things, and as the base for everything. Um, Yes, I am hearing Dog is talking about Hannah's case now. He was talking about Sebastian's case. I'm not surprised about it in Hannah's case because of the Hawaii tie. Um, he understands, okay, a lot of the inner workings of what it's like to be local girl. Okay, put it that way. Not that he's a local girl, but yeah, you know what I mean. Okay, we have a different way of seeing the world, to be honest. A lot, every community. Okay, San Fran girls act a certain way, or people, we all have our own way of seeing the world differently based off of where we live. And he understands a lot of it. And I think there's been one interview with him on this right now that I know of. Sunday, she's seen at the Grove again. Now, this is the one where she's outside of the LeBron James event. Okay. She is then believed to have gone back to LAX to sleep that night. Okay. With the word believed, okay, I don't know if it's just thought that she's there, but there's no actual like video proof or things like that, but it's believed she was there. Monday. At 5 p.m., she is spotted talking to a ticketing agent at LAX. Now, from my understanding, I don't know if this is the time or not, that conversation, one of her conversations, okay, with a ticketing agent was about a 40-minute conversation. Okay, I'm not sure if that's specifically the one, but it was active. It wasn't just like, hey, I'm here, make sure you know that I'm here. She was trying to she's literally, by the time Monday is coming, she's trying to decide, what do I do? Do I just go home at this point? Okay, do I go for what do I do? After leaving the ticketing agent, she then boards the LAX Metro C line at Aviation Century Station at 9:04. Okay, she transfers trains at the Rosa Parks station. It's confirmed she was accompanied by an unknown individual during that whole time that she's on the Metro. Okay, it's not like, hi there, hey there, and that's it. No, it's the whole time. At 10:03, about an hour after she gets on, she's seen in video footage departing the Metro Pico station with that same person, from my understanding. And this is what's worrying people, is that person and the relationship, I suspect, between them. Tuesday. Okay, it has been confirmed now. This is where we're getting some more information coming on here, too. It has been confirmed that Hannah was seen at the Greyhound terminal at Union Station on Tuesday at approximately 6:30 in the morning. So last seen 10:03 p.m. Now we're talking 6:30 in the morning. Now she's at Union Station at the Greyhound terminal, but no one else was seen within the camera frame near her. Now, does that mean there might be someone there? And we don't know. Okay. At this point, she may be with someone, but that person's hanging off to the side. There could be threats going on. There could be a lot of different things happening, guys. We don't know. Could she have been on her own at this point? Yeah, very easily also. Very easily also. But we also cannot rule that, in fact, she was with another individual that may have been distancing them because of surveillance. And that's a lot of the concern. People are like, well, why aren't they sharing the picture of that other person? Why aren't they doing? Guys, law enforcement is trying to protect Hannah. As much as we want to solve things, we want to find the answers to things. They want those answers too, but they also want to protect her. And if she is, and we are going to watch this, news story in a second that interviews her sister, Sydney, and also talks to Jennifer Coffendorfer. Okay. There's a lot of fear right now as to what's going on with her. And then, as they say here, please, guys, and I'm going to reiterate this, gang. Okay, as they say here, be patient. They're working as hard as they can. They're sharing what they can share with us. Okay, they can't share everything with us. They're also dealing with a hell of a lot of stuff right now. I mean, they just lost the leader of their family. They just lost dad. They're having to go through his funeral and all that. Let's give them the grace that they need. Okay, let's be pono with our actions. I use that word a lot with you guys a lot. Okay, pono means being true, being honest, being respectful. Okay, it's all of those things. Let's be pono with what we do, with our actions and our expectations at the same point. And so let me switch us over to the interview as we go through that. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. So this was on News Nation. Okay, it was on Cuomo. Of course, okay, it was not him. Let me pull this up, make sure got it. It's a little longer, it's 10 minutes. We are going to be breaking down into it, okay, because there's a lot of information in here. So it is an interview with her sister, Sydney, and just going through things, verifying things. Sydney actually clarified a couple things here just to make sure that rumor mills did not go off with incorrect information, and which is something I know a lot of people appreciate when people do that. And then after that, we have Jennifer come in to actually talk with Brian also. By the way, Brian Enton here with this. Let's go ahead. And yes, Kimberly, prayers for the family. Okay, whether you believe in prayers or you believe in energy and strength and just whatever, they need this right now. All families need this. All victim families need this. But this family and the graciousness that they have approached with this, it's based in the love they have for Hannah. And you can clearly see it, clearly. And so let me switch my camera over here.
16 days ago on her way to visit her aunt in New York. Hannah missed her connecting flight on November 8th, but was spotted the next day and the day after that in LA. The last day her family heard from her was November 11th. Hannah was then spotted back at the airport with an unknown person and was later spotted that night at the train station also with an unknown person. Now, earlier that day,
now, the concern, guys, and I'm not going to stop all the time in this, but there's a couple places that I'm really thinking. I think a lot of people are thinking more and more that she may have been grabbed by someone she does not know whatsoever. And is there some potential trafficking going on here or something on that level? Okay, looking at this, looking at the transportation side of things, the disappearing, the weird messages on her phone. Okay, the use of language that makes no sense. Okay, that's where we really start seeing it.
Hannah sent mysterious texts to friends and family. We also know Hannah sent 2 Venmo payments. There were Venmo payments on November 9th, the first at 6:25 p.m. with a bow and arrow emoji. The second was made less than an hour later, just with the word, quote, reading. Joining me now is Hannah's sister, Sydney Kobayashi.
I can tell you before Sydney starts talking, of those 2, there's been a lot of things going on with those. One of the people was active online and things kind of shut down. I mean, they shut their activity down after a while because of everything going on. It's very possible, like the tarot reading. Okay, but this is someone who never used Venmo much. Okay, not saying never, but it was not actively used. And And then, yes, we already know she talked about, or someone talked about, someone hacking her accounts and draining her of all her funds and stuff.
Sydney, thank you so much for being with us. First of all, our heart goes out to you, everything your family's been going through with your sister. We know your dad took his own life as he was searching for her. I mean, it's just been an unbelievably terrible situation. What do you want us to know, Sydney, about your sister and about your family?
My sister, I've said this before, she's just such an amazing and beautiful person inside and out. She's always been independent, a very free spirit. She likes to travel. Sorry, this is just a lot. She's just a very beautiful person inside and out. And she would, I don't even know where to start. This whole situation is bizarre. She would have never done anything like this to our family. So that's what raises concern for me. But I also need to correct that she was not seen at the airport with anybody. So I'm sorry, I just heard that now, and I wanted to correct that from whatever standpoint you guys have. Yeah.
Just thinking
Yeah,
about,
there's been a lot of different reports that have come out and things that have been said that aren't true, and different, all sorts of stuff. And then I think people were just shocked when they found out about your dad, and just so sad. I mean, the fact that he was there searching, I think for almost 2 weeks in LA, right, for her, and then took his own life. I can't even imagine what he must have been going through.
So I will speak for my dad, knowing him my entire life, and anybody that knows my father, they know that he was a very loving, caring, kind-hearted individual. And, I was out in LA. And while I was with him, I knew that he genuinely fought until his last breath to find my sister. And he gave it his all. He deprived himself of sleep. He wasn't eating. He was only caring about everybody else's feelings but his own. He just didn't speak about how he was doing. And he pushed and he pushed and he fought for her as any loving parent would. Yeah. I mean, if any of us would have seen this coming, we would have done our best to prevent it.
Yeah, I mean, no one knows how they're going to react in a situation like that. We've seen the text messages that don't really make a lot of sense to the family. These Venmo payments now are very strange. What do you think happened, Sydney? I mean, as a sister, do you have any?
Amen, Oceantide. Agree. I mean, and I think that's what's frustrating me more than anything, is the fact that this is the hardest thing for anyone to go through to begin with. None of us would want to be in anyone's, the shoes of someone who has a missing loved one. And people don't need to keep bringing it up. They don't right now. And the strength that the family has to show, because they're grieving right now. And they want to talk about her. And that's who we need to keep it talking about. Okay. Yes, there are going to be things like right now, and I'm going to say it again, those of you who want to help their family, they're not only having to do all the searching and all the stuff that every family does, but they also now have to worry about funeral arrangements and stuff like that for something they had never. It's not something you plan at this age for. So if you really can help out by donating, I've posted the links before, I'll post them again. I'm trying to figure out if there's anything that can be done locally for a fundraiser. There's got to be something where we can help, because that's what we do. in the bushes. I know that's actually something a lot of people have wondered about. And I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I do know right now, the one thing we have the power to deal with right now is to make sure we can find her. I know that is, yeah, a lot of people are making those comments. Right now, I feel for them beyond anything, because we deal with people who have gone missing and their families all the time. And it's just, a person can only handle so much. And bringing it up over and over in interviews and stuff like that, like, I get it. I get it. They have to do what the public wants, I guess. But because it's also getting, I hate to put it this way, it's getting the word out about Hannah too. Just that it takes that. It's just, sorry, I'm all over the place right now, but it's sad that it takes something like that to actually get people to start trying to find someone who's gone missing.
Any sense?
I don't.
Those words.
There, being in this kind of situation, you can't even. There's no way of preparing for it. Your mind goes in so many different directions, especially with the amount of information that we have, which is very little. All I know is that her whereabouts are still unknown. We're continuing to search for her. We have received information which makes us still be hopeful that she's still alive. We just can't divulge into it yet, and I don't think a lot of people understand that we have to be very careful of what we do release, because we're getting thousands and thousands of tips from
That's good.
like the family, from LAPD, everything, everywhere. But this is just completely out of character from my sister. And so intuitively knowing her and being so close to her my entire life, I just want to say this is absolutely not like her. Especially,
Yeah, and I
like,
understand you have to be careful.
text messages. Yeah, especially with those text messages that she last sent. It just, in my mind, it feels like someone was controlling her, or someone was. It might have not even been her.
Mhm.
So
If you look at that, the words, okay, funds. Who says they've taken all my funds or they've stolen all my funds? That's not something that even in someone older, you would think maybe someone older would use a word like funds and all, maybe, but that doesn't even make sense to me. Okay, they wiped me out financially. They took all my money. They do whatever like that, but it almost has the sound of someone who is trying to make a certain thought process go together. It does not, to me, it does not sound like a 30-year-old young woman. Okay, especially a 30-year-old young woman from Hawaii. I mean, we are very laid back out here, extremely laid back, and it comes across in our writing a lot of times too. My writing tends to be more mainland style because I grew up younger years on the mainland, so I tend to be more mainland style in writing. Okay, but it's, I mean, we hear she wrote with emojis. There's no emojis there, guys. There's just so many questions.
I mean, I want to believe, and we're trusting that the law enforcement is doing their job. And as far as we know, the most recent update we have is that the detective that's working on the case has been in contact with my mom as early as this afternoon. That's the most recent update that I can give right now and release. It's like a lot of information to deal with at once, and especially with this happening back to back, it's devastating.
Yeah, I truly can't even imagine. Yeah, and our heart goes out to you, Sydney, and we'll stay on the story. And if there's anything else we can do, we'll keep putting our picture out there. And hopefully, I know tomorrow's Thanksgiving, and I just hope you guys have a positive outcome very, very soon, and that you all can be together again. So, Sydney, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, and I just wanted to put this out there.
I'm going to stop this right here. Guys, please listen to her words here. What she says here to me states it as well as anyone can. And this is her request. And I think it's something I know most of you watching on this channel, okay, you guys are really good. You really are. But it's something where we can all help make sure others are too.
There too, we're so grateful for everyone that has been so supportive through this time, and we just ask that you just give our family some grace. We had not even 2 hours to grieve the loss of my father because this story has gone nationwide, and I just ask that you guys continue to help us search for my sister, and also just be kind because we all have families. So just imagine if it was your loved one and just put yourself in our shoes. Yeah. But all we can ask is that we keep my father's legacy alive, because he literally fought until his very last breath. And he did it, like I said, as any loving father or parent, mother would have done for their own child.
I understand. Thank you, Sydney. I appreciate your time tonight, and I hope we can, have a positive outcome soon. I want to bring in former FBI agent and News Nation Law and Justice.
So yeah, what she says there, because guys, people, this is not the time for people to start doing all the normal, okay, pointing fingers and stuff like that. Yes, I think people will question this or that or whatever, but support is what's needed. Okay, awareness and advocacy is what's needed in times like this. So he brings in Jennifer now, and I am going to bring this up, pull this up, because we're starting to hear more and more people popping up with real worries, where the initial thoughts a lot of people had of the mental health side and things like that, it's kind of that teeter-totter between what actually may have happened. It's changing, and that's what's getting scary, because at least with the mental health side and stuff like that, she has control, okay, in a different way, but it's her. This is out of her hands, most likely. Very, very possible.
Contributor Jennifer Coffendorfer, she's been following the case closely. You know what Sydney said at the end there, and you see this on social media. I mean, people start to treat these stories like a soap opera.
Yep.
And they say awful things, and they, say bad things about family members, and they don't even really know what's going on. And I think that's happening again with this case, which is really a shame. But what do you make of these latest developments in terms of the payments? I think there were the Venmo payments. What do you make of that, Jen?
Well, I think it's great that they are going to, meaning law enforcement has something to track here. One of them said reading. Was that a tarot card reading, possibly? The other one is to an unknown woman. But now you have people that were actually in contact with her on the 9th. So moving forward to the 11th, it's been said now by law enforcement, interestingly, that she actually missed her flight on purpose. Now, that was said in a committee type situation. It wasn't said as a public announcement, but it's very concerning to hear that. And I don't know if that's truly accurate, and if that is based on just the fact that on the 11th, we know she had her luggage, but was that flown back to her? She'd been in the same clothes for 3 days. We know she was making arrangements because the ticket agent said she was making an arrangement to either go back to Maui or to head on to New York. So there's a lot of things that are unknown, but police saying that is certainly concerning.
It is, yeah. And even if she intentionally missed her flight, does that mean someone made her miss her flight and there's still something very suspicious going on? We're just going to have to wait and see, but I hope it all gets resolved soon. Jennifer, thank you so much for.
And that's the thing right there, okay? And people will say, oh, if she intentionally, it doesn't matter. It's like runaways, okay? A runaway chooses to leave their house. Does that mean they are no longer in danger? No. Okay, things happen. Okay, maybe, could she have met someone? Okay, and all of a sudden, bang, found out it not the type of person she wanted to meet. Okay. I mean, how many people have actually been, okay, I'm not saying this is me, pure speculation zone right now, but how many people do we see on a regular basis, okay, find themselves, okay, catfished or things like that, okay, and their money is taken and everything. Well, what if it goes a step further where it's not just that, but it's someone who's trying to control? And also, there's a lot of fears of what could be happening in these cases here. So I wanted to kind of go through that because that was a really good, okay, listening to Sydney there and then the interview afterwards with Jennifer was really well done. We are hearing more. Like you said, Dog has been picking this up. I think right now all the channels seem to be picking it up. I'm trying to figure out there's got to be ways out there we can help. Okay, I mean, we're all sharing posters, we're all sharing cases. Okay, the telling her story, being her voice and all that, but how else can we help? So if you guys have any ideas, let me know. Okay, if you have any ideas. Other than that, though, it's really honestly just giving them the grace and being the voice for that grace out there. When you hear people talking, okay, knowing speculation is fine. It's when we cross that line, okay, when we start pointing fingers in directions and saying that that's the truth rather than speculation and stuff like that. I really do hope they find her and they do find, just like Ocean is saying, soon and safe. Every day that goes by is scarier and scarier. The facts, what Sydney said there, though, about there has been some stuff shared with them that gives them hope. It's good. That's great to hear. Um, they are updating people through the Facebook group with real information, which is wonderful. And that kind of pulls us our cases for this week. I am people were asking about the case that I covered on Monday, and all it was Stephanie. Not much new, but I'm keeping an eye on that Facebook group, and if I hear of anything new, because guys, she's been gone. Those of you, Stephanie Damron, she's been gone way too long for someone her age. Okay, and it seems like everything's at a standstill there. It needs that pickup again of getting the word out, getting some new, okay, clues coming in, phone calls coming into police, trying to figure out what needs to be done to find her. But have not seen much new information on that yet, but I'm keeping an eye out for that. Also keeping an eye out on a lot of different cases right now. A lot of stuff happening out there. Okay, probably in the next 2 or 3 weeks, there's quite a few updates that we should be hearing about trial wise and stuff on that level. I did want to tell you guys, if any of you guys, please come join us on Facebook. Okay, you get into Facebook, you actually get, I'm there not only as Locomai, but as my real account and my real name, and Cindy, by the way, and join us on Discord, all those things. If you would like to help us out, I am looking if I could pull together a team of people who really like to help research, especially when it comes to keeping on top of all of these different cases. Okay, like I said, I've got some amazing people who've stepped up and they send me messenger stuff all the time saying, hey, here's an update on this case. Oh, here's an update on this case. That requires us as a community to come together to keep that. And so that we can actually have updates each week. So I hope all you guys had an amazing, all my dogs are gone. I can't believe it. No, one's sleeping back in the corner there. So hope all you guys had an amazing Thanksgiving yesterday and you're getting ready for shopping season and to go see Santa. Please don't forget the real meaning of Christmas, though, at the same time, whether it is, okay, you are someone who's religious and Christian, okay, and following that, okay, the reason for the season there, or just the reason for the season of loving each other and caring about each other and being kind and just treating other people. You know what? You don't have to have a religious background to do it. Thank you so much. You guys have a great evening. I'm going to go cook myself some leftover turkey. Okay, hope you guys are enjoying your leftover turkey, and I will see you on Monday. God bless.